Hi, my name is Annie Embry, and today our group will be doing a presentation on ethics and leadership in the AV industry. AV stands for Autonomous Vehicle. It is a self-driving vehicle. Examples of AVs are shown here. We have a Waymo vehicle, a Cruise vehicle, and a Tesla vehicle. These are all examples of self-driving vehicles. So who are the leaders in the AV industry? Leaders have the power to nudge or affect change through their policies. So leadership is important in this area. The leaders of Tesla is Elon Musk. The leader of Cruise, which is a subsidiary of General Motors, is Mark Whitten. And the leader of Waymo is Takeda Maakana. What do we know about Elon Musk's leadership? We know from his words that he is committed to slashing the federal government budget, which may include the very agency that is responsible for AV safety. What do we know about Mark Whitten's leadership? He has expressed the largest commitment to public safety in collaborations with the communities where these AV vehicles are deployed. However, it's important to note that this commitment to public safety was only after its license was revoked in California after one of its vehicles dragged a pedestrian in San Francisco. And lastly, we have Takeda Maakana's leadership. She is somewhat in between these two leaders. She has expressed a willingness to accept the unknown, including accidents, in the adopting of this new technology. So next, I'll have teammate Molly will be going through the ethical challenges of the AV industry.
Hi, my name's Molly Zimmerman, and I'm going to go over the business ethic challenges in the AV industry. First, it'd be safety and reliability. There's ethical concerns about the readiness for deployment on these public roads, and would be privacy and data security. Basically, there's a concern over a massive data collection because they use the car's sensors, the cameras, the GPS, and people are just concerned about where this data is going. And then next would be accountability and liability. In the case of an accident, it's hard to put the blame on just one person. Is it the other driver? Is it the manufacturer? Is it the programmer or the software developer? It's just a bit more complex when deciding who's at fault. And then moving on to the next slide, how is the industry managing these concerns? Basically, the companies like Waymo and Tesla, they have millions of miles of real world experience and virtual as well. And when it comes to data protection and privacy, there's an increased transparency on where this data is being used. And then when it comes to liability and insurance structures, the AV companies form partnerships with insurers, and they also collaborate with regulators to establish more of a clear guideline for accountability. And they go over the definition of liability for these frameworks. And then moving on to the other side, the industry standards and how they're enforced. So the Society of Automotive Engineers, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, and the General Data Protection Regulation. They enforce, strict data protection laws, and then they also oversee, regulatory enforcement, and then AVs are allowed to operate on a 0 to 5 level. Most operate at a level 4. And the NHTSA, they have like guidelines, and they're also oversighting this industry. And then moving on to the next slide, some concerns, like I mentioned before, the unavoidable accidents. Sometimes it just can't be avoided. And then job displacement, I think a solution for this, because, people are relying on jobs like Uber and Lyft, would just be to implement reskilling programs with local places and, job transitions. And then when it comes to regulatory gaps, this industry is always evolving, and so are their regulations. So a solution for that would be greater collaboration with policymakers.
Hi, I'm Manuel Cano, and I'll be talking about Waymo's corporate social responsibility initiatives. It's a safer way of transportation by reducing human error, cleaner for the environment, and judge-free for people such as the blind. Next slide. The sustainability efforts. Waymo has a fully electrical fleet, which prevents 220 tons of CO2 emissions weekly. On top of that, Waymo also has teamed up with Clean Power SF, and they just announced the largest commitment data to date in new wind and solar power to produce 1 million megawatts per year. So that will easily allow Waymo to expand its fleet of cars in San Francisco. They also have the transit credit program, which offers riders $3 credit for future rides for using Waymo to connect to transits in San Francisco. Next slide. And then the challenges in sustainability. Batteries require lithium, and to obtain 1 ton of lithium, it requires up to 500,000 liters of water to do so. Another problem is existing recycling processes have a significant energy footprint and are not up to par. Recycling costs can exceed the value of the recovered materials, and we need to become more efficient at it. In China and Europe, they have strict regulation mandates for recycling EV batteries, which lead to higher recovery rates. Next slide, please. And then the community engagement and accessibility. Waymo fosters independence and inclusiveness. They're always helping out in the community. As you see in this photo here, they're cleaning up a park in San Francisco. As far as the safety, Waymo has conducted rigorous testing and have accumulated data from 3 million miles of road testing and development. Next slide, please. And then equity and ethical challenges. Right now, Waymo is only offered in 4 cities: Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Austin. And to gain public trust, Waymo has partnered with local safety organizations to develop how AVs handle real-world scenarios like emergency vehicles and pedestrian crossings. Next slide, please. And then broader industry challenges is the job displacement is a big concern, but with the investment of companies like Waymo, there will be plenty of new jobs created. And then another issue is the cybersecurity. We don't want our data leaked, and we don't want the systems hacked. But again, that will also create additional jobs in the IT department. And I'll pass it over on to Kyle now.
Hi, my name is Kyle Matheson, and I'll be doing the industry analysis. The structure and historical development. They're primarily regional. The industry, as Manuel said, is only in about, or Waymo is only in about 4 cities right now. Companies like Waymo are still in their development stage. I know in SF they just went into like their open beta, basically letting a lot more people in on their business. Trends such as AI, sensor technology, and machine learning drive the industry's growth, because without those, this industry is just not possible. And then the industry is valued at $42.3 billion, and is expected to grow 21.9% from 2023 to 2030. And then Waymo is seeking to participate in this growth with an expected increase of 109% in their next year's revenue. Competitors, we have Cruise, Tesla, and Aura. Cruise offers a similar service like Waymo. It's like a taxi service. The public seems more aware and overall trusts Waymo more, though, for various reasons. Tesla, as we know, is a massive car realtor, sells multiple self-driving cars. However, these are still regulated. They do plan on making a taxi service, but as we know, they are a big talk company and they take a big talk approach and everything. So who knows if that's actually going to be a thing. And Aura focuses more on the technology, so the AI, the motion sensors. However, they are focusing on the freight transport, so semi trucks. Their target market, we see that it's majority male, And then the age gap's 35% is 25 to 35 years old. So the younger generation is definitely taking more keen eye into this industry. And then they get more, a lot of their clicks through social media, such as LinkedIn and Reddit, and an organic search, which was quite surprising. You'd think people would actually be looking more directly at this. And then there's a little bit of obstacles, the public perception, we've talked about this whole presentation, and of course the regulations. The stigma around the industry is slowly being turned as people realize this actually might be safer than everyone themselves driving. Trusting technology is a big thing. And then the regulations, with the regulations comes limited consumer access, which ultimately means company and industry exposure goes down.
Hi, to conclude our presentation, we see that there is a lot of uncertainty in this emerging industry, and with that comes opportunity. A key leadership trait for leaders in this new industry will be the ability to pivot and to adapt and change to new technology and new ethical concerns. A pivot acknowledges collective harm and individual injury, but also leans into the future and opens entirely new possibilities. And we as a team see a lot of possibilities in this exciting new industry. Thank you for listening to our presentation.